Hello, you're listening to Attack Friday, actionable tips, tricks, and coachable knowledge. Attack Friday is brought to you by the Change Your POV Podcast Network. And I'm Eddie Lazary, your host. Let's get ready to attack. All right, folks, how we doing? Welcome to Attack Friday. Again, this is Eddie Lazary. This is a solo show, and I'm really excited about this. We are going to be doing an 11-part series all about things that, well, don't get taught that you still need to know. 11 things, that is. So this is Attack Friday, episode 209. And this is going to be a little bit of a shorter one, but I want to introduce the 11-part series that we're going to be doing. So starting next week, we are going to be kicking it off with Attack episode 210, and it's our first of 11. And the first one is effective communication with email. Now, and before I get down the list of these remaining 11, I just want to let you know that there will be a lot of really great material that will be accompanying each of these 11 things that you just won't get taught that you still need to know. And we've got some incredible resources, some recommended books. We got some checklists, some worksheets, and other things that are going along with these 11 things that you need to know. And if you want to get hooked up with that, it's free. All you need to do, now you might want to write this down. It's not a lot, but it's a couple of steps here. All you need to do is leave a rating and review on iTunes, and then take a screenshot of your review and email it to me at eddie@changeyourpov.com. And I will email you back the link to all of the downloads, worksheets, and resources that we talk about over the course of this 11-part series. Again, just head on over to iTunes, leave a rating and review, take a screenshot of your review, and email it to me at eddie@changeyourpov.com. It's that simple. All right, so yeah, next week, kicking this off, number one, effective communication with email. Let's be honest with ourselves here. Email is by and large one of the most used communication tools that we use today. Whether you're in corporate America, a nonprofit organization, own your own business, you're an entrepreneur, it doesn't matter. Communication is a big part of business, and in most businesses and organizations, that medium comes in the way of emails. And yes, folks, there's right ways to do it and there's wrong ways to do it. And that's what we're going to be talking about next week. The week after that, number 2 is Attack episode 211. And this is how you look is how you're seen. How you look is how you're seen. We're going to talk about dressing for success. We're going to talk about apparel. We're going to talk about a lot of the things that, well, people are saying behind your back and may not be saying to your face. We're going to have a really good, candid conversation there. Again, these are things that you'll never get taught, but you still need to know, okay? The week following that, episode 212, we're going to talk about a little recognition goes a long way. We're going to be talking about trinkets and trash, thank you notes, rewarding behavior you want, not punishing the behavior that you don't, and several other things we're going to talk about on that episode. Should be a great conversation. I say conversation. It's a solo show, so I'll be having a great conversation by myself, and hopefully you'll enjoy it as well. The week after that, episode 213 is how to make the corporate fallout shelter list. And some of you might be thinking to yourself, what the heck is a corporate fallout shelter list? Well, we're going to talk about that. What is a corporate fallout shelter list? Who ends up on this short list? And how do you get yourself on the list? And some other things about that. So it's going to be a great point that we're going to talk about then. Number 5, find ways to measure yourself. And some of you think you might have great ways to do that, but after listening to this show, you might change your mind about that or find new alternative ways to measure yourself. It's important to measure yourself. Why? Because what gets measured gets done. And that's what we're going to talk about in episode 214. Episode 215, number 6, failing to fail is failing to grow. A lot of times we all talk about success, and we talk about trying to avoid failure and trying to do things better. And it is always good to push yourself and have goals and objectives and wanting to strive to do better. Many of us don't like to talk about failures. And let's be honest, folks, if you're a human being and you're listening to this right now, you fail probably all the time, just like I do. Finding ways to embrace that failure and using it as an opportunity to learn and to grow, that's what we're going to talk about on episode 215. Episode 216, here's a great one. Number 7, sit down, here's a mirror, time to get honest with yourself. At the end of the day, no one can be honest with yourself. No one can be honest with you unless you're first honest with yourself. And that's what we're going to talk about on episode 216. 217, we're going to talk about your social media is yours. You control it, or it controls you. The truth of the matter is, if you've got a social media account, if you've got a Facebook, a Twitter, a LinkedIn, Pinterest, Tumblr, you pick it, Instagram, you pick your social media platform. If you got any of those accounts, then you have social media. And if you don't control it, then it will control you. And people are going to make inferences about you, whether you like it or not, whether you think it's fair or not, is irrelevant. That's on episode 216. Episode 217, number 8. Oh, no, that was number 8. Your social media is yours. That's number 217. 218, number 9. Loosen the grip on your ego. Everyone will think more of you. We often, and I speak for myself here when I say this too, we often let ego kind of get in the way of our progression and things and opportunities in our life, and finding ways to let go of that ego. People won't think you're weak. As a matter of fact, most people will actually think more of you and think better about you if you can find ways to put your ego aside and move forward. So that is the discussion on episode 218. And episode 219, number 10, act your way into a new way of thinking. And this is going to be a very interesting one. I don't know, maybe some of you have heard that adage, act your way into a new way of thinking versus trying to think your way into a new way of acting. And that's what we're going to talk about on that one. And then closing things out, number 11 on episode 220, we're going to talk about Excel. Yes, Microsoft Excel. You just have to know it. Period, end of story. You just have to. And here's how you can. All right. So there you go, folks. That is the 11 things that you need to know that you don't often get taught, but you still need to know it anyway. We'll just kind of recap here. Number 1, effective communication with email. Number 2, how you look is how you're seen. Number 3, a little recognition goes a long way. Number 4, how to make the corporate fallout shelter list. Number 5, find ways to measure yourself. Number 6, failing to fail is failing to grow. And number 7, sit down, here's a mirror, time to get honest with yourself. Number 8, your social media is yours. You control it, or it controls you. Number 9, loosen the grip on your ego. Everyone will think more of you. And number 10, act your way into a new way of thinking. And finally, number 11, excel. You just have to know it, and here is how. All right, folks, so it's a little bit of a shorter episode today, but I'm excited about this 11-part series, and I'm excited to bring you a lot of these are things that I had to learn along the way, and oftentimes learned the hard way, and very frustrated that I didn't have any kind of formal education or have anyone really kind of pull me aside or take me under their wing and teach me this stuff. This is stuff that I kind of had to learn the hard way, and very frustrating. So I wanted to be the first one to kind of help talk about these things and kind of guide you through some of those. And it's going to be fun. I'm really excited about this 11-part series. And again, if you want all of the downloads, resources, worksheets that we're going to talk about over the course of this 11-part series, it's really simple. You just leave an honest rating and review on iTunes, take a screenshot of your review, and email it to me at eddie@changeyourpov.com. and I will email you back the link to all of the resources as they unfold over the course of this 11-part series. So that's it, folks. Attack Friday, actionable tips, tricks, and coachable knowledge. And I look forward to seeing you next week when we dive into this. Next episode is going to be around effective communication with email. Talk to you then.